Hey everyone, December 26th is coming up fast, and we are diving deep into Squid Game Season 2. We've got articles, we've got Reddit threads just exploding with theories. We even have the updated Wikipedia page to break down. Think of this as our, pre-game prep, getting you ready to be the Squid Game expert in your watch party.
Yeah, absolutely. There is a ton to unpack here, from hard facts to some really wild speculation.
So, okay, let's start with the big shocker.
Yeah.
Gi-hun's back. I mean, you win that much money, wouldn't you get as far away from those games as you possibly could? It's got to be more than just, wanting another payday.
Right. That's the question that's haunting everybody going into season 2. And the actor and the director have both hinted that Gi-hun is just not the same guy anymore. He's like deeply changed, almost like possessed by, what he went through.
Yeah, which of course has the whole internet like spinning out with theories.
Right.
Is he hallucinating? Was he kidnapped by the game masters? Some people even think he's working undercover with his brother, the detective who we know is back too.
Those are all fun to think about. But I'm really interested in the psychology of it all. Imagine the weight of surviving when so many others didn't. Could this be like a twisted form of survivor's guilt? Maybe he feels obligated to expose the games or stop others from suffering the same fate.
That's so interesting. It's like he's trapped by his conscience, even though he technically won.
Ha!
But here's another twist that has me hooked. Players can vote to end the games after every single round. Before it was all or nothing, right?
Oh, yeah. This is a genius move by the writers. Think about the psychological pressure that adds. Each game isn't just about surviving the challenge. It's about constantly reading the room. Do you trust the group enough to risk quitting while you're ahead? Or do you get swept up in that just one more game mentality?
Oh man, if I were playing that constant decision-making, I think that would be even more stressful than the games themselves. It really makes you wonder, could this new rule actually make players more likely to stay, even as things get more and more horrific?
It's definitely possible. The allure of that prize. Plus, the fear of being the odd one out. The one who votes to quit that could create a really dangerous kind of inertia. It's almost like the game masters are manipulating the players into, perpetuating the system itself.
Whoa, that's a chilling thought. It's like they're saying even with more freedom of choice, people might still choose to be trapped, which makes Gi-hun's return even more fascinating. If anyone's going to disrupt this cycle, it's got to be him, right? But how do you do that when the players themselves might be the biggest obstacle?
Exactly. It turns the whole idea of rebellion on its head. Is it enough for Gi-hun to take down the organizers? Or does he have to somehow break the spell that these games have over the players?
Okay, mind officially blown. Let's shift gears for a sec and talk about the new players. Because the trailers have given us some intriguing glimpses. I know some fans are worried it'll be the same games as Season 1, but we do see hints of new challenges, like a giant carousel, a tic-tac-toe board that looks intense.
The creators are smart. They know the audience wants to see something spectacular. But they also love to subvert expectations. Think about those seemingly innocent children's games from Season 1, twisted into something terrifying.
Oh yeah, even red light, green light became a bloodbath. So with these new games, I'm guessing it's not just about, visual grandeur. They're going to find some way to mess with our heads, make us question how far we'd go to win.
Exactly. The show is like a masterclass in psychological manipulation, both on screen and, with us, the viewers.
Oh, speaking of manipulation, there's this one new character that everyone's talking about. The guy with the intense purple hair. He just has this "I'm here to cause chaos" vibe.
Yeah.
And Reddit is just flooded with theories.
He's a great example of how the show uses visuals to instantly grab your attention. Purple hair in this context. It feels almost unnatural, like a warning sign. Is he player gone rogue, someone with a score to settle? Or maybe he's connected to the organizers somehow, someone who enjoys the games a little too much.
That's a good point. Is he there to win, or is he getting some other kind of twisted satisfaction from playing? And then we have this mother and son duo joining the games, which just adds this whole other layer of emotional complexity.
It taps into one of our most primal fears. The lengths we'll go to protect our loved ones. Will they work together? Or will the games force them to betray each other to survive?
That's what makes this show so gripping. It's not just about the games themselves. It's about the human drama, the moral dilemmas that unfold under these extreme circumstances. We know they're driven by debt, like a lot of the players.
Yeah.
But how will that desperation play out when it's not just your own life on the line?
It's a question that gets to the heart of the show's exploration of class and inequality. Are these games a way to exploit people in desperate situations? Or do they offer some twisted kind of opportunity, however brutal it may be?
We've talked a lot about the psychology and the themes, but let's not forget the real-world impact this show has had. Remember that controversy about filming at the airport? It
Hmm.
caused quite a stir. People's travel plans getting disrupted by a fictional game?
Oh, yeah, it's such a fascinating collision of fiction and reality. All of a sudden, those deadly games weren't confined to the screen, they were spilling over into the real world. It makes you wonder how much of what we see in Squid Game reflects the anxieties and the inequalities of our own society.
That's a great point.
Yeah.
It's like the show is holding up a mirror to us, forcing us to confront uncomfortable truths. Okay, before we get too deep, I have to share this one little tidbit. Apparently, the creator, Hwang Dong-hyuk, he lost multiple teeth from stress while filming season 1. Talk about dedication.
Wow, talk about putting your heart and soul and teeth into your work. It makes those intense scenes even more impactful, knowing the toll it took on everyone involved.
Okay, so we've got Gi-hun's return, the game-changing voting system, a cast of new characters with their own mysteries, and even some real-world drama thrown in. But the question that's really keeping me up at night is this. What is Gi-hun's endgame?
It's the central mystery driving this whole season. Is he just trying to expose the games? Or does he have a more radical plan? Remember, the director confirmed that season 3 will be the final chapter. So whatever happens in season 2, it's going to set the stage for a showdown of epic proportions.
Okay, I am officially hooked. I need to know what happens next.
Well, we're going to delve further into those possibilities, explore the potential for rebellion, and even speculate about the future of the Squid Game universe itself.
Stay tuned, folks. We're just getting started.
What's interesting is Gi-hun's rebellion, it might be more complex than we first thought. Remember those chants in the trailer? One more game. Some players actually seem to want to continue, even after all that bloodshed.
It's like they've become addicted to the risk, the adrenaline, maybe even the illusion of control it gives them. But it also makes you wonder, is the show saying something bigger here?
Yeah, it could be a reflection of how we're conditioned, to accept and even celebrate systems that exploit us as long as there's a chance for personal gain. Think about lottery tickets, pyramid schemes, even the way some jobs pit people against each other just for a chance to climb the ladder.
Yeah, it's like we're wired to chase that carrot on a stick, even if it means ignoring the suffering all around us. Which brings us back to Gi-hun. If some players are choosing to stay, what does that mean for his mission?
It raises the stakes a lot. It's not just about taking down the organizers anymore. Gi-hun might have to confront the players themselves, break them free from this, fascination with the games.
And with season 3 being the finale, whatever happens in season 2 has to set the stage for a huge showdown.
Right, and with this new voting system, the players aren't just pawns anymore. They have some agency, however limited, to either keep the cycle going or disrupt it. Every vote becomes like a tiny version of those real-life moral dilemmas. Do we play it safe and look away or risk everything to fight for something bigger?
I'm dying to know how those new players will react to these choices. Will they be tempted by the money or find the courage to resist? And what about that purple-haired guy? He just screams wild card.
Oh, he's a brilliant casting choice. He disrupts any sense of familiarity, forces us to rethink our assumptions. We've seen ruthless players before, but there's something about him, the way he carries himself, that suggests he's on a whole other level.
Yeah, maybe he's like the embodiment of this generation that's grown up desensitized to violence, sees these games as the natural order of things, like a path to power. He could be Gi-hun's biggest challenge, the personification of everything he's fighting against.
That's a chilling but really compelling idea. It suggests that even if Gi-hun takes down these games, the problems that created them will still be there.
So can Gi-hun even win? Or is he doomed to fail, destined to become just another part of this brutal machine?
That's the question that's going to keep us on the edge of our seats. Yeah. But remember, winning doesn't always have to be straightforward. Maybe Gi-hun's mission isn't about, traditional winning or losing. Maybe it's about planting a seed of doubt, inspiring others to question the system, even if he can't escape it himself.
That would be a powerful message, especially given how popular the show is around the world. It's like saying, don't just be entertained, be outraged, and then do something about it. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. We still have those new games to look forward to, that carousel and tic-tac-toe board. They've got me intrigued and terrified at the same time.
They're perfect examples of how the show uses familiar things to create a sense of unease. We associate carousels and games with childhood innocence, right? By twisting those symbols into something sinister, it makes us confront the darkness hiding beneath our own nostalgia.
Right, and those simple children's games from season 1 were so unsettling. Imagine what they'll do with a giant spinning carousel or a life-size tic-tac-toe board.
The possibilities are pretty frightening, but also incredibly exciting. It's that mix of dread and anticipation that keeps us coming back for more.
Okay, one last thing before we wrap up this part of our deep dive. I can't stop thinking about that shot of the detective Hwang Jun-ho in the trailer. Is he actually alive? Is it a flashback, a hallucination, or is he back in the game somehow?
His return adds a whole other layer of mystery. If he is alive, what role will he play in Gi-hun's mission? Will they work together to expose the games? Or will they be forced to turn against each other?
And what about his brother, the front man? Will they finally face off?
Imagine that confrontation. It wouldn't just be between brothers, it would be a clash of ideologies. Two
Yeah.
totally different ways of surviving in this brutal world.
I'm getting chills just thinking about it. It's incredible how Squid Game weaves together social commentary with these intensely personal stories.
It just shows the power of good storytelling. It makes us think, feel, question the world around us, all while keeping us glued to our screens.
Okay, I think we've given everyone plenty to think about for now. We've looked at Gi-hun's mission, the new voting system, and even speculated about some familiar faces.
We've covered a lot, but there's still so much more to discuss.
Okay, Squid Game fans, we've explored Season 2. But now let's look beyond the games themselves. What's the future of this whole Squid Game universe? Could we see spin-offs? A whole cinematic universe, maybe?
Oh, the possibilities are really exciting. The show's success has opened up a world of potential. We've already seen Netflix testing the waters with real-world stuff like that Squid Game, the experience event.
Oh yeah, right, where fans could actually play those games.
Yeah.
Thankfully, without the whole life or death thing. Didn't that sell out super fast?
It was huge. It proved that the Squid Game brand, it has power even outside the show. It's like a stepping stone to even more immersive experiences. Imagine a Squid Game theme park or a VR thing. That puts you right in the middle of the action.
Okay, now you're talking. Sign me up for a VR red light, green light challenge.
Yeah.
But what about the movies? I could see a prequel about the front man. Diving into his backstory.
Oh, a prequel would be amazing. To see Hwang In-ho go from a desperate player to that cold-masked overseer. What happened to him? What choices led him to that point?
Yeah, was there a betrayal? A traumatic event that changed his whole view of humanity? It's a story with so much potential.
And don't forget about taking it global. Imagine Squid Game, Tokyo Drift, with games based on Japanese culture. Or Squid Game, Rio Carnival, using that vibrant energy and high-stakes atmosphere.
I love that idea. Each new setting could show us how these games play out in different societies with their own unique flavor and social commentary. It would be like a twisted cultural exchange program with deadly consequences.
Exactly. Netflix could create a whole anthology series, each season in a different society, with its own social commentary.
Okay, now I'm really getting excited. But part of me worries about overdoing it. Too many spin-offs, too much merch, could ruin what made the original so special.
I see what you mean.
Yeah.
The important thing is to keep the quality high, make sure anything new adds to the main themes and story, and doesn't just exploit them for profit.
Definitely we don't want a Squid Game, the musical situation. No offense to musicals, but some things are better left alone.
I agree. So what do you think will happen? Will it be a giant franchise or stay a focused 3-season masterpiece?
That's a tough one. My gut says a mix of both. I think Netflix will use the brand's popularity and make a few spin-offs, maybe a prequel series, and some immersive experiences, but they'll also want to protect the original.
That sounds like a smart move, finding that balance between giving fans what they want while also keeping what made the show special.
It's a balancing act, but I think they can do it. So let's say hypothetically they do make a Squid Game cinematic universe. What ethical problems might come up?
That's a really good question. As the universe grows, so do the chances of moral compromise. Think about the possibility of glorifying violence or making light of the suffering that drives people to play these games.
Right. It's important to remember, Squid Game is a critique of social inequality and the systems that keep it going. As the franchise grows, the creators have to be careful to make sure that message doesn't get lost in all the spectacle.
Absolutely. It's about balancing entertainment and social commentary, making sure the excitement and scares don't overshadow the show's message about the human cost of greed and desperation.
Well said. Well, everyone, it looks like we've reached the end of our Squid Game deep dive. We've talked about Gi-hun's return and the potential for a whole cinematic universe.
It's been a really interesting and thought-provoking discussion.
For sure. And now, I don't know about you, but I'm even more excited for December 26th.
You too.
But before we go, I want to leave you with one last thought. Squid Game isn't just a show, it's a reflection of our world. It started so many conversations about debt, inequality, and greed.
Yeah, it's a reminder that those things aren't just part of the plot. They're real struggles for a lot of people.
So as you watch Season 2, Keep that in mind. Let the show challenge you, make you think, and maybe even inspire you to make a difference.
Well said. Until next time, may you make good choices. And may you never have to play red light, green light for your life.
And in that note, we'll say goodbye. Happy watching, everyone.